Good morning. Big E's up early this morning for the call. G was very concerned with me missing and running over my other morning meeting. Cindy, great to see your smiling face. Cindy actually has, and I know like the microphones aren't always great on computer and stuff. And Cindy and I spoke yesterday, and she has like this mega. I need to get hooked up with that kind of system. I tell you that. I'm gonna actually get you to help me with picking out some better equipment for doing calls.
I got you.
All right, so let's jump right in. These are all recorded, so you can refer back to them. So Focus Fridays are going to be about a couple different things. So I think it's a great opportunity each week to offer something that maybe could inspire us to go out that weekend and try a new lead source or try a new idea, right? We're always looking for new things to kind of help our business grow. And so I'm going to try to provide something like that each week. But then also, if there's a question that populates over the week with something that's maybe off the wall or something crazy, I'm going to address that question that came up over the week and then how I would approach it. And then I want to kind of use it as an open forum as well that everybody can kind of chime in, right? We have people from all different brokerages that came together here. We have people that came from different parts of the industry. Like Eric is the #1 home flipper in the country. And so he may have some advice on things when it comes to like flipping homes that could apply to different questions that come up. So that's what these Focus Fridays are going to be about. Today, I wanted to do a kind of a course on 6 ways to get listings without cold calling, right? I think cold calling is kind of a scary word for a lot of people in real estate. Some people love it, some people don't. But this was 6 ways that I used to create listing opportunities for myself without cold calling. So they kind of ran a little bit on autopilot. So thought these would be some great ideas for you. And so we will jump right in on that. And again, don't hesitate to jump right in if you have questions, comments, anything. So again, 6 ways to get listings without cold calling. So focus for me was forgetting obstacles and creating unique solutions. There's going to be more ways than one to skin a cat, and this was 6 ways that I used to lead generate to get new listings. Okay, the first one, and this was probably one of the most profitable for me because it didn't take a whole lot of money. It took a little bit of time, but some of it was relationship building. Was targeting divorces. A lot of times, I don't know if you guys know, but when you go through a divorce, the court sometimes will require that the husband and wife sell the assets before they go into the divorce. And a lot of times too, there's actually a divorce decree that states that the real estate agent can actually make the decision on what offers to take and a lot of the decisions moving through the process. So a lot of the times when I was working with divorced couples and I was given a divorce decree from the courts, the process, the sale was the easiest one I've ever done because once a fair and reasonable offer came over, I almost didn't even need to go to them to say, hey guys, what do you think of this offer? I think, because a lot of times you're going to have the husband signing it and the wife doesn't want to, or vice versa. Whoever's in the home always thinks that the offer is too low. They don't want to sign it. And you end up having to be on the market for, 8 months, a year, and a sale can fall apart, or they're going to get rid of you as a listing agent. Another thing too is that creating relationships with divorced attorneys is going to be a great first place to start. So if you guys are trying to amp up your listing business, the first thing that I want you to do when we get off this call is to find a divorce attorney close to where you want to work and schedule a meeting with them. Go in. That's one of the first things that I did as I found a divorce attorney, I brought lunch for their whole office. I met with their whole entire staff. And I told them, I want to be your preferred listing agent. So anytime that it comes up where assets need to be sold, I want you to refer your clients over to me. And the reason why I wanted to meet with them in person is so they got a feel of who I was, how I operate my business, because I'm literally going to be an extension of their office and represent them as well. So if you look, these are some statistics for you, that over 31% of the people going through a divorce will list their home within 6 months of filing for the divorce, right? So I think that's a huge opportunity. If you think of how many, there's 1.2 million divorces in the United States, and there's 7 million people in the Atlanta area. Think how that translates into listings. And so this is literally like runs on autopilot. Once you have that relationship in with that closing with the divorce attorney, they're going to send you business, right? Mine was a very good relationship. I would go in there once a month. I'd make sure that they had my business cards. I brought them lunch, but they constantly kept me fed with listings. One of the things that I did is with that, actually the attorney that I partnered with, I sold his house for a one flat fee, and that kind of got me in with a relationship with him. Do whatever you want as far as operating your business like that. I did get the full 3% when they went and bought, but I felt like that was a partnership from the beginning. So there's little competition out there, guys, for being a divorce listing expert. There's not, like, literally when I went in to talk with the divorce attorney that I work with, he said, no one has ever come to my office and offered this service. And literally, like, even in his presentation folder that he gives on his initial consultation, he has a flyer for me in that folder. So when that couple leaves out of the divorce office, they literally feel like I am part of that process of going through the divorce, that when the home's listed, David Landsman is the agent to use, okay? You can also go on Facebook here, and you can do a customized targeted ad for, do you need to sell your home, right? In the relationship status, you can actually select complicated or separated. Those are two complicated. When people switch their status over, and pay attention to this a little bit. You guys are on Facebook nonstop all day long. Pay attention to your feed. When you see something like that pop up, run an ad, right? Going through divorce. You have landing pages you have squeeze landing pages built into your personalized website that we went through on Tuesday. But you can actually redirect people over to your site. They can get a free home price evaluation, but that gets them in the process of moving towards the listing, okay? And pay attention in your feeds, right? When you see, like, this was a post that someone put, right? Like, literally, these are trackers for somebody's car. The person was getting their oil changed, and they see that there's the tracker on their vehicle. That's usually an indicator that the divorce is coming, right? Maybe comment on that post so you stay in the thread, or send them over, a private message. Be aggressive with this, because it could lead to a listing. Average price point in Atlanta is what, $275. So you're looking at almost a $9,000 commission check. And if I told you that all you have to do is pay attention to your Facebook feed, which you're doing every single day anyways, and it could lead to a $9,000 commission check, I think that's a pretty good payoff. But that relationship with divorce attorneys is going to be huge. So I think that should be your next step after we get off this call. Second way, a good way of getting listings is viewing the inherited homes. So there's over 1 million people that inherit a home every single year. So I think that's a really amazing opportunity. There is huge opportunities in the Atlanta area, actually, if you look down in Pittsburgh and things like that, of abandoned homes that have been inherited. All you have to do is a little bit of tax record research, find out who they are. 9 times out of 10, the people that have inherited those homes don't even live in the state. So they're unaware of what the market's doing. They're very unaware of market value. I can remember 2 homes that I called about, and the people happen to be in California. Well, price points in California are super high. They're like 3 times the property values that they are in Atlanta. So when I told them, hey, listen, I wanted to sell this home, part of it was that conversation with, hey, the market's completely different in Atlanta. You educate them a little bit, but they're so happy that somebody called to dump that property and to give them some cash because they don't really even know. And you can go by those houses, take pictures of them, show them that it's actually almost an abandoned property, what they've inherited, or show them the condition of it. And they're very, very willing that someone took the time to reach out. And that's an easy target for listings. You can go to like Fulton County inherited property cases. You can research a lot of those properties and just do a little bit of research, find out their information, and give them a call. There's a lot of different resources out there to find the people's information that have inherited these properties. Cole Realty. Now these are paid. These three are paid services. This is a free one. YP.com is actually still up and running. There still is the yellow pages, but you can find out people's information there. There's also another website that I meant to add to this. It's called Anywho.com, 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 and you can find out people's information throughout the entire country. It does populate their home address and their phone number. That's all for free. And you can send over kind of just a soft letter to them if you want to do a handwritten note, or you can send, of course, text message, email, or call. RedX and Vulcan are both paid services, but you'll get a lot of for sale by owner, inherited properties, abandoned properties, all that information in there. I never think that it's a good strategy to pay for any kind of products up front before you get a little bit of return on it. So, in this, maybe once you get one home under contract, maybe look at investing some money into it to increase your outreach. So the third strategy that I think is really, really great is sending mailings to for sale by owners, right? A lot of these can be soft touches. It usually takes between 5 and 12 points of touches before someone is interested in doing business with you, right? So if you can send a text message, send an email, and then you send a letter to somebody, and you don't have to be really aggressive with it, right? Most of the time for sale by owner people are not that willing to talk with real estate agents. So I think the softer the touch, the better with FSBOs. I'm going to do a class later on how you can get FSBOs to work with you, where they actually ask you to work with you rather than begging for their business. But a mailing off to them is good. And also if you're farming any kind of neighborhoods, they're already going to hopefully have seen some of your marketing material as well. So when you get another soft mailing touch for a for sale by owner, you're already in the wheelhouse. So that could be a good strategy for people to reach out to you. There's a lot of agents out there. I'm sure a lot of us have worked with them that have been, cold calling for sale by owners nonstop to beg for their listing. I always thought that for sale by owners are going to get between 10 and 30 calls. If you've worked at Keller Williams, you know that everybody sits in a room in the beginning every morning and calls for sale by owners with the same exact script. If I got the same script 30 times in the morning, I would be pissed off. So for me, I never made cold calls to for sale by owner people asking them to list their house. I sent off a soft mailer, which is more like, giving free advice and giving, this is how I would market the home if it was me. And a lot of times they would call back and want you to list it because you weren't the one that was aggressive. So be careful how aggressive you get with for sale by owners. I think, again, there's 6 strategies here. This is just one of them. So again, these are very soft touches that you can send out for very little money. I'll give you the resources to it. There's, I think it's called 3clickpostcards.com. They will send them out to neighborhoods for like $79. But those are great ways of soft touches. Put your picture on it. It's a good way of getting in front of people for very little bit of money. So 4 is vacant homes. This kind of goes back to the inherited as well, kind of brings those two together. But there's 104 million vacant homes at the end of the first quarter in 2014, and that's only growing since that point of time. But those vacant homes are usually, again, they've been inherited properties that people are paying taxes on every single year, and they just want to get rid of it. So if you're the first one to reach out to them, I would say 95% of the time that those people they're going to list with you. And also one thing you guys don't forget, that being a part of Atlanta Real Estate Group, we have the cash offers available. This is a great opportunity for you to make a very, very fast and easy sale. Get this property, send it into, go onto the app, click for a cash offer. The first, conversation you should have with these people is, hey, I've already procured 3 or 4 offers for you. With your permission, I'd like to send them over. This is a good way of getting rid of the property, and you don't have to keep paying taxes on it every year. This is kind of an advantage to our brokers that no other brokerages have by having that cash offer aspect of it. So this, I think, is a great marriage, the vacant homes lead sources with our current brokerage. Okay. And again, you can find a lot of this information on the county clerk's website when you are looking for information for the people that the home is vacant. Even the for rent homes, technically that is a vacant house. So when you're searching on, you can do a search through Zillow for people that are trying to rent their houses by themselves. And that's a great opportunity as well for you to go after those people. Hey, listen, instead of renting, I have a cash offer for you right now. You don't have to list it. We want your home. Another couple of things that I did is, with our app with Lantern Real Estate Group, you have an admin feature on there where you could have one of our admins call around to some of these properties if you gave them a property list, phone call, email, things like that. But there's also, if you go on Fiverr, there's actually some people there that will scour, pull tax records for you, pull vacant homes. They'll pull all this data for you for very, very cheap. And then they go to work and they try to find the information or people that may be interested in getting a cash offer. So take advantage of that. I think there was a gig that I used on Fiverr that cost me about $50 per day, but almost every single time they got me a client to list. And, I'm not saying run it every single day, but at least you have an admin working for you like that. You can also hire some local college students that are looking for some intern work, and they will literally go around and prospect for you. So that's some great ideas that you could use for that. Tax sales, right? We know that there's a lot, and I really feel like, not to take advantage of a situation, but with all this COVID stuff, I think there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to be behind on their payments. We all know that the first Tuesday of the month here in Georgia that they go on tax sales. Well, if you can hit these people before they get to that point, and again, use the resources that we have here with getting that cash offer for the properties, it's a great initial conversation starter. Rather than just calling up people that may be delinquent with their taxes and saying, hey, listen, let's get out there in the market and sell it, because they may look at it as, well, hell, in 30, 60 days, my house could already be taken by the courts or be sold on the courthouse steps. This way you call them and lead with a cash offer. So I think it's a great way of, again, the resources that we have here at Lantern to tax some of these people that may be in trouble with property taxes. Again, you could run some pay-per-click ad campaigns. I was actually doing some search last night on some of the pay-per-clicks, and this is, to me, if I was in trouble with taxes on the home, like what if I needed to sell an Alpharetta home due to delinquent taxes, right? If you look at the way Google works with their SEO AdWords campaigns, to me, that would be a very reasonable search that term that someone may put in there. There was only one person that was paying for ads on that. That's HUDforeclose.com. So to me, this would be an easy, very inexpensive way to market yourself and get them to that point where they may be looking for another alternative instead of having the courts take their home. And again, redirect them onto your website. On every one of your personal websites, you have a form in there for people to obtain a cash offer. So direct them onto that lead gen page when you set up your Google AdWords campaign. Again, if you're unfamiliar with doing a pay-per-click ad, campaign, go on Fiverr. There's tons of people that specialize in running specific pay-per-click campaigns for Google for very, very cheap. And you can do a very low ad spend, especially when you're doing the keyword search like this. When there's only one person in that space, you may be looking at less than $1 to get on the first page of Google for that. When there's only one. When you see 4 or 5 different people where you see that ad on there, you're looking at like the $4 to $7 range per click to be on that page. But with only one, you're looking at under $1. So that would be a great first place to start. And again, you guys, think about if you're using any one of these 6 and you get one lead from it, that translates over to a $9,000 commission check for you. So I think all these would be a great strategy. Here's some other keywords that I was looking through. Sell a home quickly in Atlanta due to taxes. So those are very specific searches. So if you populate it into that, you're looking at pennies on the dollar to generate your leads. And again, without doing cold calls. And this is by far my favorite one, is partnering with local companies, okay? It's not just partnering with local banks, builders, mortgage providers, plumbers, electricians, all that kind of stuff, right? Our brokerage is kind of already partnered with those people, so those resources are always available to you. But marriage counselors, again, that goes back to the divorce attorney, partner with somebody local. Dentists, think outside of the real estate world. Every time that I partnered with a local company outside of real estate, right? And what I mean by that is outside of plumbers, outside of electricians, things like that. And my partnerships, and I'll show you one day all the way that I networked with my local people. I partnered with barbershops. I partnered with dry cleaners. I partnered with, even restaurants, bars, things like that, where people outside of the real estate world, I think that most realtors, when they get into real estate, they immediately like, hey, I want to partner with this painter because he's going to send me business. Well, if you really think about that and break it down, how many other realtors are reaching out to that painter? Hundreds, right? So if that painter sends you a referral and I found out about it, there's no way I'm ever going to use that painter again. So why not go to, like my barber, I literally have my business card sitting on the front of his little stand there. Every person that comes through, if he overhears them, and I mean, think about how we operate as human beings. When you go to your barber, when you go to get your nails done, if you go to a restaurant, a bar, your dry cleaners, you talk to those people about your daily life. So for me, if someone's sitting in a barber chair, they're going to talk to them, oh yeah, we're thinking about moving. That sparks it up for my barber to say, oh, you should use David. He's my preferred guy. He'll take really good care of you. Now all of a sudden you literally have, like, depending on how big your network is going to be with your local partners, you could literally have 50 people out there working for you while you sit at home, not making cold calls, right? So again, divorce attorney, #1 place that you guys need to go start. That person's going to send you business. Then all of a sudden, think about the things that you do. Like my wife, she colors hair, and the women that go to her pay a ton of money to get that done. Well, that's a partnership, right? If you're, even for me, I go to my barber once a week. I'm paying him every single day. That's a partnership that he's getting something from me. Get something back, right? I think that if you have a good relationship with these local partners, they're going to want to give back to you to make sure that you stay in business so you can keep coming, get your hair done, or keep going to that restaurant, or keep going to get your dry cleaning done. So think outside the box when it comes to your local partners. It's a huge advantage to building out your business. Okay, great question. So Mike just asked, what did the partnership look like with my barber? So what I did is, and again, I'm a little bit more as far as the aggressive side when it goes to attacking business. I actually learned how to make websites. And so what I would do with my barber is, the first thing that I did is I Googled him. And if he didn't have a Google page, if he didn't have a website, if he didn't have all these things that to have exposure online, which he didn't, I actually went and built him a website. And then in essence, I own that website, right? So I own his business online. And it was to his advantage for me to continue to grow him online. And it was his responsibility to make sure that I had clients coming to me, or I couldn't afford to keep his business online. And for me, I looked at it as the very first time that he got a client from that website, or from any kind of marketing that I'm doing for him, he was literally cemented in with me to send me business. Also, What about your Facebook page? And I'm not talking about just having a business Facebook page that shows that you're a realtor. What about setting up a community Facebook page for your local partners, right? And using that page, don't bombard it with like, check out my new listing, or if you're thinking about selling a house, and get rid of all that stuff. People go to neighborhood pages because they want to see what's happening in the community. If you have a local partner page where you're actually providing value, and for me, it's not called networking, it's called net worthing, because you're providing worth to the network of people you've partnered with. It's a rising tide raises all boats, right? If I can send 4 more people to my barber, on some level, isn't the responsibility for him to send me 4 or 5 clients to help buy or sell homes? I mean, I think by human nature, if someone's constantly giving you without anticipation of getting anything in return, human nature makes us want to go out and do that, especially if he sees any kind of value from it. There's going to be a responsibility on his side to provide you with some kind of partnership, right? With some kind of leads back. Now, here are some of the resources that I used for marketing. RSPPRO.com and also 3 Clicks postcards are very inexpensive sources that you can use to send out into these neighborhoods. I'll do a whole course on farming, but this is a way of soft touching all those people without just sending out handwritten notes. It's a very inexpensive and fast way. Also, Fiverr, there's a lot of things that you can do on that thing. You can have those people mine data for you as far as finding for sale by owners, finding tax lien homes, finding inherited properties, and also tech help with running your Google AdWords campaigns, also Facebook ad setup. If you don't know how to do those things, there's great opportunities on there with Fiverr. And I'm literally talking about, thus the name, for $5, someone will run a Google pay-per-click ad campaign for you. Now, you will have a little bit of ad spend with your Google AdWords account, but you can literally do it for pennies on the dollars if you formulated up those correct Google search keywords. And remember, success does not come from what you do occasionally, it comes from what you do constantly. So as you're going through these 6 things, I am not recommending to you to go attack all 6 of them. Go through this. I'll send out this presentation, everybody. Go through it and really look at it and say, you know what? I could see myself going to make a relationship with a divorce attorney, and then to attack that one for the next 6 months. Don't attack it for 1 week. So literally 6 months, that means you're going to visit that office 6 times. You're going to bring them lunch. You're going to create a relationship. You're going to meet with their whole entire staff and show them what your value, what your worth is to that company, right? You're going to represent them well. You're going to provide excellent service to their clients going through a divorce, right? Whatever it is, make sure that you're there for them as well, right? What if the divorce attorney is not familiar with working in the space of buying and selling a home? You could be a resource for them, right? Don't always look at it as, oh, I'm going to the divorce attorney who is going to send me clients. Be a resource for them. What if they had you on speed dial, and while they're sitting with a husband and a wife that's going through divorce, he immediately calls you out and says like, hey, David, answer this question for me about going into the market. Or what does the market look like right now in Alpharetta? Be that resource for them, be the expert, but make those relationships. But attack one of them and do it on a consistent basis. There's no way that if you do something consistently like that you are not going to win. What questions can I answer for you guys about some of those strategies? Not everybody at once. Which ones did you like? Which ones didn't? Which ones do you think that you would do? G,
yes.
Which one would you do?
I actually like connecting with a divorce attorney. That sounds like a good idea.
It's a great idea. To be honest with you, that was my first kind of step to working with leads in the community. But the real benefit is when you start building up that network of other companies, right? Of barbers, of again, bars. I literally built up a lot of relationships with people at restaurants and things like that. I would literally print out pens with, thinking about buying or selling a home, David Landsman with my phone number on it. And whether this is right or wrong, I would sign my bill, take the pen, and I'd put 3 back in its place. Unless it was like a really, really fancy pen, I kind of felt bad about doing that sometimes. But I felt like on some level, as long as I replaced it with 3, I think waitresses and bartenders are always looking for more pens. But I would put those in there, right? But even like there was a bartender actually that called me the other day, Chris Haggerty, and he was a bartender at Gypsy Kitchen. I used to be with another brokerage downtown in Buckhead, and as a group, we would go and to happy hour there, and I just started a relationship with him. And I literally just started talking to him, and I said, Chris, how many people do you see, you know, on a monthly basis that you overhear or they're talking to you about like, hey, we're thinking about moving out of Buckhead and going up to Marietta or going here? And he's like, a ton of them. And I said, okay, great. I wrote my name on, you know, his name on the back of my business card. And I'm like, as you're talking to these people, hand them my business card. And then let's create a partnership where you're sending me referrals like that. So I literally built up my business where I had 50 people, I still have them, out there in the community working, right? I have 3 or 4 barbers. I have a couple different dry cleaners. You know, dry cleaners for me was a very, very easy target. I don't know why, but most of them don't have websites. So I built websites for dry cleaners. So they had an online presence, and then they were very, very quick to promote me once they saw what I built for them. And so they all have my business cards right there at their, on the stand when they checked out. A couple other things too, is that on pizza places, pizza restaurants, I had a partnership, and I'll go through, actually, this may be a good, another Focus Friday class. But I literally bought pizza boxes for pizza companies, and because you can do that for under $1 a piece, and they would print my information all on the box. And so that was another kind of relationship networking that I made with these people. And every time that they would send out a pizza, it literally got in their home with my information on it. So think outside the box when you're thinking about these networks that you're going to make with people. I highly recommend you do not going after people that are in the real estate world. Mortgage lenders, we already have a relationship with a mortgage lender who's going to provide you guys with exemplary service. They're also working with a ton of other agents, right? So the chances of that realtor, I mean that mortgage lender sending you over a referral is not a smart play on their behalf. If me and Andy work with the same mortgage lender and I find out that lender is sending Andy all the business, how much longer do you think I'm going to use them? Not very long. But dry cleaners, there's probably no chance, and other than after this call, you guys are probably going to all run over to the nearest dry cleaner. But you know what I mean? There's not going to be anybody that's in that dry cleaners. So think outside the box when you're thinking about these relationships. You know, local businesses are always the best place to go. They can instantly start a relationship with you. They can take the decision maker. You're usually talking to them right there. But then there was an agent I worked with before she started up a YouTube channel, and all she did was go out and every week choose a different business, and she did an interview with them, put it up. It's free content, right? We're always looking for content to put on social media or to market ourselves with. Let someone else do it for you. So she would literally go interview. Now all of a sudden you're promoting that person's business. Let's say a dry cleaner for the sake of this conversation. So I'm going there, I do an interview with this dry cleaner owner, promote them all over the place, Facebook, on the YouTube channel. That value, no one's come in there and done that for them. And we have a lot of free time during the day, right? Even if you're out showing all day long, schedule it. You're showing houses from 2 to 5. Well, you know, son, on the way home at 5:30, I'm going to meet with Mark over at, you know, ABC Dry Cleaner, and then I'm going to do an interview with them. It takes 30 minutes. And then on the way home, you know, then all of a sudden you're on your way. So your day's done, but you've created that network. And those people, I'm serious, once they see one little bit of shred of evidence on the internet, any kind of marketing that you're providing for them for free, they feel a responsibility to you to send you a buyer or a seller. You literally have employees working for you now. Cool. Pick one, attack it for 6 months. If it doesn't, it's going to work. But if, let's say, you're not having the best luck with it, you got 5 other choices after that. You got 3 years worth of material right here. I appreciate you guys very, very much. I'm gonna continue that again every Tuesday, 9:30. We're gonna do Tech Tuesdays. Every Friday, 9:30. We're gonna be doing Focus Fridays. I'm always available to you, no matter what you need, questions. I'm here. So go out there, kill it, and I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, David.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.